going on, Jeromes? It's a beautiful Thursday morning, and it's time for the Vikings Thursday news dump while you're taking a dump. He sees you when you're pooping. So Vikings made a couple of roster moves on Wednesday. Notably, they put Marcus Davenport on IR, expected. They brought King Kene back to the 53, which is great. And also the kickstart my heart of the practice window for Jalen Speedy Naylor. And in a move on Tuesday, they had waived Tristan Jackson, and he cleared waivers and reverts back to the practice squad. It's a good sign that Jalen Naylor could and should be ready to go for Sunday. I think that he could make an impact. And also Tristan Jackson. I mean, I like T-Jax quite a bit. We'll see if he gets an opportunity here. Like, even though he's on the practice squad, he could still be a game day elevation. Also, some of the Vikings need to elevate is a freaking third down game. All right, so Alec Lucy, let it go. Third downs have been an issue for the Vikings. 34.2% conversion rate overall, 27th in the NFL. They're 2 of 13 against the Bears. Just not good. 61.9% conversion rate on third and short, 14th. 25% conversion rate on third and medium, 32nd in the NFL. Dead last, the worst. And 21.9% conversion rate on third and long, 19th in the NFL. Now, a lot of things go into this. Number one, play calling from Kevin O'Connell. Number two, drops from the receivers certainly do not help. The lack of run game, getting positive yardage on first down. So they're in third and manageable versus third and medium or forever. And also Kirk Cousins. Like, even though, yes, we made the point before, well, why is Kirk Cousins always checking it down? Where do you think the defenders are? At a certain point, you got to let it rip. And whatever happens, happens. I mean, if you throw an interception, I mean, sure, people will cook you for that, so it really is a no-win situation for Kirk. But also, I mean, we've seen Kirk drop some freaking dimes, man. So it's time. Everyone needs to step up in that regard. And the fact that the offense has been relatively good, even despite being so inefficient, really does say a lot about the talent. Speaking of talent, so the Vikings, if they stumble heading into the trade deadline, could they be sellers? I think the Vikings will at minimum be 3-5. So I think that the Vikings will still, in general, keep it together, even though there's a number of players who could and should be moved, who may not be back next season. So NFL.com put this out. Buyers, sellers at 2023 deadline, blah, blah, blah. For the Vikings, players who should be on the block, Ezra is in a contract year, but also he's hurt right now. Danielle Hunter, Danielle Hunter would be the most valuable trade piece since Kirk's probably not being moved. And if the Vikings have no inkling of bringing him back, trying to get what you can at this point, I understand it, but also I'm firmly on team pay Danielle. Do it. Harrison Smith. I mean, Harry did take a pay cut to come back for one more ride, but I don't know. I can't see trading Harrison. Want him, who's going to be in a contract year and really enhancing his trade value, although Vikings may need him with Marcus Davenport up on blocks, blah, blah, blah. And then they write about JJ and Kirko and whatever. But with the Danielle trade. So PFF put this out, a hypothetical trade for Danielle to Jacksonville. And Darren Dugan-Wolfson has reported that there have been some interest from Jacksonville making a move. It's a reverse Yannick the freaking Ngakoue for Danielle. And this is the hypothetical trade that PFF put out. Trade comp. 2024 fourth round pick, 2025 third rounder, and a 2025 fourth round pick, which doesn't seem like a lot, right? In a vacuum, obviously Danielle is a premium talent. We're talking about a first rounder and change, but if the Vikings potentially could be in a rock and a hard place since there's no franchise tag with Danielle's deal, so they can't tag and trade him. And also, if he left in free agency, the maximum that they're looking at for comp pick would be a 2025 third round pick. So that's what they're balancing off of it. And so basically, the Vikings for half a season of value would be getting 2 extra fourth-round picks. Now, I'm not wild about it. Not thrilled necessarily. And also, what's interesting is that Jacksonville can't include their first, second, or third-round picks because it's still up in the air of what the Falcons are going to get in terms of trade compensation for Calvin Ridley. There's some factors in there. So I don't know. Basically, you're getting a 2 extra fourth-round picks, and you're clearing up around $6.5 million in cap space of letting go Danielle. I don't know. I don't like it, man. Something I don't really like either. So, rumors are Tennessee Titans are looking to trade Derrick Henry since they're 2-4, and they're the bad 2-4. Not the Vikings 2-4. Now, Derrick Henry is 29. Like he's older than Dalvin, and for the last couple of years, I've just been waiting for the wheels to fall off of Derrick Henry, and it happens with power running backs. You look at Sean Alexander. My favorite Sean Alexander anecdote is he went from league MVP to out of the NFL in 20 games. Just when it goes fast for running backs, especially power backs. But Derrick Henry proves that he can still do the damn thing. And my nightmare would be if, say, Montgomery's injury is pretty serious with the Lions, and the Lions end up with Derrick Henry. Mama, no. But question is, the Vikings running game so poopy, but the Vikings run blocking very good. I mean, do they take a shot at Derrick Henry? Now, it doesn't really make sense unless Tennessee picks up a bulk of his remaining salary. He's got like a $10 million base salary this year, but I mean, this seems like 100% like a fantasy football trade, but those are always fun. All right, and speaking of Vikings running backs, they lost one over to the Los Angeles Rams. Rams dealing with the Kyron Williams injury. Also, the backup got hurt too. Zach Evans season for the Rams. But they add to their 53-man rooster, signing Myles Gaskin off of the Vikings practice squad. Now, Kevin O'Connell and Sean McVay, of course, a lot of crossover in the offensive philosophy, a lot of outside zone with the Rams too. So that does make sense. Gaskin, who was signed, has spent a number of years with the Dolphins. And I mean, we could have just traded Gaskins for Cam Akers straight up, but in a roundabout way, that's what's going on in this spot. Also going on is Ivan Pace Jr., the UDFA linebacker. Now, Pace had a couple of issues with missed tackles and diagnosis of some read option against the Bears, but still can get after it, and PFF keeps hyping him up. 28.9% pass rush win rate this season, first among linebackers. Now, the problem is they don't blitz him enough. For all of Brian Flores is blitzing, like he's been very reserved with Pace Jr., and it's clear that the Bearcat can get it done. He had 9 sacks last year for Cincy. Let him loose. I mean, the Vikings need to manufacture some semblance of a pass rush, and now with Davenport out, maybe Pace Jr. should be a larger part of the pass rush. Someone who is not part of the pass rush is freaking Dean Lowry. So I have a lot of issues with Dean Lowry. Now, he was fine for the Packers for a number of seasons, a very solid 5-tech in their 3-4, but I mean, even though he signed for basically the veteran minimum, he's taken up valuable snaps, and it needs to end. So Vikings fan page put this out. Dean Lowry this season, 0 tackles for loss, 0 sacks, 5 combined tackles, 0 quarterback hits, 185 snaps played. He needs to sit. Like, he needs to be the healthy scratch, and they need to play Jaquelin Roy. Right, the 5th-round pick from LSU, where I don't care if Jaquelin Roy makes a couple of mistakes. At least he does have the physicality to win. He can get his own pass rush. He has a great first step. He has a great upper body, too. So someone's got, like, Dean Lowry was solid. He's not that guy anymore. So got to change things up front. And, yeah, I mean, will Jaquelin Roy make mistakes? Yes, but also he needs to learn. Like, he needs snaps. He needs experience, and Lowry is not moving the needle. So they need to sit his ass down. Also someone who needs to sit their ass up. So the Vikings, we knew the Vikings had one of the best offensive tackle duos in the National Football League, and they're getting some love from the analytics community. And Vikings put out there, Vikings top left tackle, NFL's top left tackle, Darrisaw, NFL's top right tackle, Brian ONeal, via PFF. And they are sitting atop of their perch in terms of PFF grades. And it's such a weird thing. So the analytics, whether it's PFF or DVOA, loves the Vikings offensive line. But the running game has been inefficient, and Cousins has gotten heat at certain times that have been very inopportune for the Vikings. But hopefully they can put things together, and hopefully the analytics will pan out on the field a little bit more too. But I mean, sign Darrisaw, give him all the money. He's quickly becoming Trent Williams reincarnate, and Brian ONeal is still one of the best right tackles in the game. So looking ahead towards Monday Night Football. The Around the NFL crew put this together, game preview picks, and there's some haters and there's some losers. So Daniel Jeremiah picks the Vikings to lose by 10, Colleen Wolfe by 2, Marcus, come on Marcus, Vikings lose by 10, MJD picks the Niners to win by 8, wait no, 12. I'm really good at math. I'm the only Asian who's bad at math. Gary Gordon or G Gordon, I don't know, 19. Nick Shook, 10. At home, former Yahoo guy, 9. And Kevin Patrick coming at you by 8. Whatever. But two Jerome standalone. So Mark Sessler, the Sizzler, picked the Vikings to win by a field goal in overtime. And then Adam Rank, noted Jabroni, Chicago Bears apologist, picks the Vikings to beat the Niners because the Vikings just beat the Bears, who were the best team in the history of the world. So fully understand there. I actually wish that all of them had picked Niners, because every time that everyone agrees, that's when things go wrong in this league, man. Yeah. Speaking of things going right, so think about treating myself, right? And I'm looking for. So we've been through the throwback jerseys. We got a Moss, we got a Carter. Thinking about a Tarkenton, but of course, that was way before my day, and it seems a little bit like a poser. Now, Chris Carter at Ohio State was also before my day, but this looks super clean and super mean. Now, I'm like a quasi Gopher fan, I guess, by geographical default, but to be honest, I really don't have allegiance to a single college team. Yeah, I mean, I sort of like USC. Yeah, I sort of like Texas, whatever, but I'm not like a huge Ohio State fan, but I also don't hate them. But this, my darling, I can't get enough of your little bit. So this throwback Mitchell and Ness, Chris Carter, number 2 jersey. Let's go, man. That's fantastic. But if I am going to invest in a throwback college uniform for a Vikings great, I mean, come on. Also, it just dawned on me, like, Kirk Cousins will probably be the most polite Spartan of the 300. It's like, oh, this is Sparta, if that's okay with you. I don't know, man. Like, again, he would be the most polite and well-mannered hoplite out there. Yeah. Or I can't find a Randy Moss number 88 Marshall jersey. I'm having problems. Man. But that's it. Vikings news done for a Thursday. You guys are the best. Skol, production value.